you have a question online, go ahead and press the raise hand button now. Matt?
John, how you doing this week?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, man. It's been a while since you've needed to have kind of a, like a bounce back fight, for lack of a better term. Does that give you added motivation going into a fight week as you're going through camp?
Yeah, a little bit, but I think I'm taking this fight as just just another fight, and I know it's one of the top guys in the world, but I still try to take it as just this is another fight going out there. There was so much stress for so long with the idea of trying to work my way to a title shot. So I think this is probably the least stress I've had on a camp in a long, long time. Still got the same work in, but I'm just not. I'm always just exhausted during camp because it's all I think about. I've actually been able to put my mind on other things this time outside of the training room, and it's kind of nice.
Is that because you've gone through that process of working your way to a title shot and had the title shot, and now maybe working your way back up to get another one is going to be a little bit easier?
I think obviously the goal is to fight for the title again, but I think this is kind of that first fight off. I just didn't think of it that way all the time. That's more of this is just a fight. I got to go out there and win versus, how do I have to look? What do I have to do to get that title shot? And it's just, like I said, a lot less stress through the camp. Obviously fight week's the same, but through the camp it was a lot less stress.
Are there things that you were able to sort of take out of that loss? I mean, beyond the fact that you've now learned that you can have less stress in a camp after that one?
I think some of that, hopefully I've, brought a lot away from that loss. Hopefully every time you fight, you want to learn, especially when you lose. But I think just the notion of, everything isn't building to this one moment is kind of a reliever on that.
If you win Saturday night, it seems like you remain right there, right behind the champ. If he wins, he probably catapults past you into that position. But beyond you two, the field seems a little bit less obvious for who maybe would get a shot at the title. Do you feel like this is one where you could have lost the title shot, go out and get one win over kind of the next best top contender next to you, and be right back in there with him?
The thing is, obviously I can't answer the way that, Bellator's looking at it, but I think the obvious answer is that there is no one else. I think Costello Van Steenis realistically should be the guy right behind me, but he hasn't been active. So he's not, he's not in the mix right now. And you got Fabian Edwards, who's, obviously a very good fighter and one of the top guys, but he's taken 2 losses, recently. So I don't think he's really in the argument right now. And then obviously what Mousasi was able to do his last fight, that obviously takes that out of the equation.
Talk to me a little bit about what Johnny brings to the table physically. Obviously he's got no losses, but it could be argued that he hasn't been in there with kind of nearly the same level of competition that you've been in there against. So do you take that as kind of a notch in your favor come fight night, and sort of break down for me a little bit what he is going to bring, just in the fight itself?
He's really kind of one of those guys that brings problems everywhere, right? Good wrestler, obviously. And, we haven't seen a lot of his jiu-jitsu, but a guy that's that level wrestler is going to be very good on top. We know that. Hits hard, comes hard forward, isn't scared to step in hard, so there's no easy place for this fight. There's no clear, this is an easy path to victory for him. But like you said, he hasn't been in there with the toughest opponents. And I don't take that as, we don't know how good he is because he hasn't been there with these guys, because he's putting guys away. But I don't think he's really had that moment of, oh no, what's happening, in this fight. And that's a game changer. I can think of back in several fights when things go wrong and how terrible it is, how you have that adrenaline dump and you got to push through it, and I think that just the fact that I've had that happen so many times, just looking at some of the guys I'm beaten that have gone to have, great careers after, I think that I just know I can push those moments.
Okay, John, you've got history in this city. To my knowledge, this is the first time you've competed in St. Louis since college, right?
That's right. I wrestled in college at Lindenwood University. I actually graduated from college in the family arena. So
Nice.
that's a cool thing to go back there. Super pumped to be back here. Had a lot of good times in this area, and it's just really cool to be able to come back. Some of my college teammates are able to come out to the fight, so it's exciting.
Cool. So outside of a win, what do you look forward to most in this fight, especially now that you're going in with a different mindset?
I think there's something to be said for having a fight, or there's so many fights you go, okay, this is exactly how this has to go. This is, Chidi Njokwani, I think, is the perfect example. Like, this is a guy, his knees are dangerous, elbows are dangerous, such good body kicks, good teeps. It has to go this way where I don't take damage. I put him on his back and I submit him. I got to get him out there, right? And I think there is a little bit of relaxed feeling of this fight of this can go a lot of different ways. It's going to be a hard fight. There's no way this isn't a hard fight, and there's no easy way out of this. And I'm going to get hit, and he's going to get hit, and this is how we're going to fight. I know that kind of sounds dumb, but it takes a little bit of the stress off of I've got to do everything perfect, and I've just got to go out there and fight.
All right, last question. Mules are synonymous with Missouri. Tell us a little bit about Precious.
My wife is going to be so excited that you asked that question. Precious is the mule that my wife and I just recently got. She's got a horse, a Tennessee walking horse, and I got a Tennessee walking mule, Precious. And my wife has turned her, perfectly good mule, great to ride. My wife's turned her into Precious the Mulicorn. And she even has a unicorn horn that she puts on her halter. And I'm fighting it right now, but it's a losing battle. She's going to have a pink mohawk. So it'll be pictures of me riding a mule with a pink mohawk before too long. Yeah.
Hey, John, I was able to ask Johnny a little bit ago if there was any truth to him having animosity towards you. He said that he doesn't. Does that change your thoughts on him going into this fight now? Will you mentally prepare any different for this, or is it still the same with you, all business all the time?
It's just business. I think, I kind of like what he did. He was a guy that went out there and he kind of built the fight up, and so kind of the backstory, I got a contract to fight him on really short notice. And I believe it was November. And I got it like midnight. So I called my manager. He didn't really know what was going on. There was somewhere along the line, there was a miscommunication somewhere. So I asked, can we do it in December? He said, I'll find out. I never heard back. And then I went and did the ADCC trials. Well, apparently, like I said, there's miscommunication somewhere. It got to Johnny that I was hurt. And then I'm sure he saw, he's probably looking on Instagram, sees I'm competing at the trials. So I'm sure there's a level of, oh, this guy's ducking me, but I think he did a good job of getting out there and making sure this fight happens. That's what I wanted to do it in December, so I think it's perfect setup. I don't have any animosity towards him. I think he's a good fighter. I think we're going to put him in a good fight. So I think that's the perfect fight to have.
All right, thanks for clearing that up. And I look forward to seeing the pictures of the unicorn mule.
Santiago?
Good afternoon, John. Thank you for the time. You were doing excellent against the champion Gegard Mousasi in the first round. What happened after that? Because Gegard clearly struggled with you taking him down, but after that first round, he gained some confidence back. What happened there in your opinion?
Yeah, I went back to the corner after the first round feeling really good. And he came back and made an adjustment on the angles he was taking. And it just really threw me off. I've never seen somebody come out and kind of be a different fighter in a different round, in the second round they were the first round, just the way he moved. And I got that second takedown in the second round, but he kind of stepped off line. I got a little lucky, tripped his foot, and that just got in my head. I was like, well, I can't do it. I got lucky to get that one. I'm not going to get another one. And got just over aggressive on top, thinking I've got to do something big here, and ended up on bottom. And once the tide starts going his way, it's just so hard to swing it back. And you see that in every fight he has.
Johnny is known for his strong wrestling game. Do you think he will try to take the fight to the ground, or will he be too worried about your A-class jiu-jitsu?
I think with us both being good college wrestlers, I think we'll probably end up in some wrestling exchanges. I can't imagine a way that we don't. So I'm sure at some point he'll be, trying to take me down. And it's just something that I got to be prepared for.
Austin Vandervoort didn't even last 90 seconds against Gegard Mousasi. How motivated are you to step back in there with Gegard? And Bellator has been looking to go to Amsterdam for a while now. Would that interest you? Big fight against Gegard in Amsterdam?
I would be extremely pumped about that. If we can make that fight happen, I'd be really pumped. But right now, I got to focus on Saturday night, but obviously after I get the win Saturday night, that would be something I'd love to do.
Jay?
Hey, thanks very much for the time. And you touched on Gegard a little there. I'm just curious. We've seen him against you. We've seen him against Vanderford. We've seen him against some of the great middleweights. Where do you think he lies on the all-time list of great middleweights?
It's hard to find somebody that's really better. You look at when he was over in the UFC. I mean, he wasn't losing to people. He had that a couple of losses that were kind of freak things, but other than that, he's beaten the best guys in the world there. And just the other night or a couple weeks ago when he fought, it just shows you how calm he stays in any situation. They're in the middle of a huge exchange and he's just standing his ground, throwing punches, landing everything he throws, so he's dangerous everywhere. Good jiu-jitsu, a lot harder to take down than I thought he would be, a lot stronger than I thought he would be, and hits very hard.
And you kind of touched on almost the mental side of the game there, saying you said to yourself, "Oh, I got that first one. It was kind of lucky." How big a battle is the mental part of fighting for you?
I think it depends fight to fight. That fight, so much stuff wasn't the way I expected it to be when I got out there, and so everything he was doing okay. I didn't think he was going to do that. I didn't think he was going to do this, and it was small things that when you even watching film, you don't notice, because we watched film of him and it was like, how does he back everybody up? And it's not something that I had any idea what he's doing until we got out there, and so that one was one where like I said, just everything was going a little different than I thought, and it just kind of accumulated. And when I in the second round got that second takedown and kind of was scrambling just to put him on his butt, it just started freaking me out a little bit.
All right, well, looking forward to this weekend. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Couple more here. Luis?
Hi, John. I'm Luis from MMA Pit, and you have a lot of experience. And in Bellator, you have 8 victories and only you have 2 losses in the promotion. Both losses were against the champion and the former champion. Do you think Johnny Eblen can be a different challenge for you?
Everybody's a different challenge. He is very different. He is essentially a Costello Van Steenis, I think, with just not the same kind of explosiveness that Van Steenis has, but where he's just willing to come out there and come after you, but he's got wrestling ability that Costello didn't, so everybody's different. This is going to be, I've prepared for this differently than anybody else, and it's just going to be a different challenge.
And obviously you want to win this fight. So after this fight, you want to face Gegard for a second time, or do you have someone different in your mind?
Obviously, fighting for the title is the goal. So if I could fight Gegard again, that's what I'd love to do. And that's not my decision to make, but that's absolutely what the goal is.
Dylan?
Hey there, John. I appreciate you making some time.
Yeah, thank you.
I was just noticing some training pictures there with, Chris Weidman, Brian Barberina. I saw Chris Honeycutt there as well. Can you speak to some of the recent work you've been able to get?
It's been great. Brian Barberina, Chris Honeycutt are always, a good part of my camp. My last camp, Weidman was supposed to be a part of, and then you saw, everybody saw the injury that happened right before I really jumped into camp. But obviously amazing having one of the best guys in the world back in, and he's 100%, he's sparring, he's grappling hard, wrestling. So kind of mind blowing. I think most people would still be on crutches, but he's out there sparring right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And, should you get the desired outcome here, I'm just kind of curious because the way you were talking about the adaptability Gegard Mousasi showed in the first title fight, would the biggest difference in a potential rematch be trying to, I guess, mirror that same adaptability, or what would you say would be the biggest thing you learned from that first go around?
The biggest thing is being ready for it, right? and knowing what to expect and be able to train for it. The couple things that he did that, like I said, I just had no idea. His speed, number one, I did not realize how fast he was until we got out there. But just the way he moved, some of the feints that he had, being ready for that, it really surprised me how much it threw me off fairly quickly in the fight.
Thanks so much for the insights, man. Much appreciated.
No problem.
All right, John. Appreciate the time.
All right, thank you guys.